the value chain is a long one, and at each point of the value chain, look at which one will be most productive, most, income giving to you.
One of the things we're talking about is that agriculture, as nice as it is, truth is you can't really start small.
The reason why we talked about small beginnings is not just for being small, it also allows you to prove your theory. But if you've already invested large sums of money, you will lose a lot of money. You'll be discouraged, your investors will be discouraged.
My name is Oluyemisi Iroloye. I'm the Managing Director of Sultry International Limited. Sultry International Limited produce starch from cassava, raw cassava. When this dream was sold to First Bank, it looks vague because of the difficulty of operating a factory of this kind in an environment where there's no major facilities like light and water or road. We started the journey in 2012 when the first visit was made to this rural community by First Bank. By June 2012, First Bank had given the loan for the equipment and to build the backup farm and simple houses for our staff to live. February 2013, the equipment arrived and we had started installation. First Bank again saw that there was a gap because the farmers were too poor and would never have been able to grow enough for the factory. So my First Bank decided to give my farmers money to grow cassava for sultry, even though they didn't have collateral. If First Bank did not fund the project and fund the farmers and the complete value chain, this dream would not have come true.
I'm Kunle Hadewole, the CEO, Ever Shining Star and Consult Limited. We are into production of palm kernel oil and palm kernel cake. That is the extraction of oil from kernel nuts. Let me start to tell you about myself. I had a first degree in accounting and a master's in business administration. I also have a graduate certificate in entrepreneurial management from Andong University, Korea. And I have a lot of training on vocational skills in business. But this evening, I would like to just talk on a particular product from palm plantation. When you say palm tree, from palm tree, you can go into palm plantation, then you can go into palm oil production. But from my own side, I am into production of palm kernel oil. That is the extraction from the kernel nut, not the palm oil. So most people are not familiar with the palm kernel oil. Extraction of oil from kernel nut is very simple. You just use a kind of equipment that will help you to press the kernel nut and the oil will just come out. And after that, you have a byproduct called kernel cake. That is just, people say it's a waste. They call it a waste, but it's not a waste, it's a byproduct. So the name for that is palm kernel cake. But when you say palm kernel oil, you can use palm kernel oil for so many things after extraction from kernel nuts. The palm kernel oil is used to make soap. You can use it to make soap, you can use it to make candle. Then most of these vegetable oil refiners, they refine it to vegetable oil, the edible oil. Then the palm kernel cake is used by the animal feed millers. The animal feed millers, they had some other concentrates to make animal feeds. Then when you look at the piggery farmers, they use it to feed their pigs, just like that. Then fish farmers, poultry farmers, just like that. But I want to tell you something. This is a very good business idea that, you know, it has a lot of other business opportunities attached to it. So I will just take them one after the other.
What do you need to take your business to the next level? Expert advice? Affordable financing? State-of-the-art technology? A partner you can trust. At First Bank, we can help with that. Visit sme.firstbanknigeria.com to find out how we can help you grow your business. First Bank.
My own area is to buy kernel nuts. Buy kernel nuts from villages around my place, then process. So now, what are other businesses that are attached to this? So you can decide, okay, I want to go into production of palm kernel oil, the one I do. You can say, okay, you don't want that. I want to go into buying and selling of the products. You can go into buying and selling of the product that is palm kernel oil and palm kernel cake. You can buy palm kernel oil and sell to the end users. You can buy palm kernel cake and sell to the end users. You can also decide, okay, I don't want to go into buying. I want to make use of the products, the two products. I'm talking about two products now. Okay, I want to make use of the products. You can acquire skill on how to make soap. Then you buy the palm kernel oil to make soap. I don't think we have anyone that will not use soap in the house for bathing, to do a lot of things. So there's market for soap. Then starting the business, I would say it is very easy, but it depends on the individual. If you want to start, you need to acquire skill in that area. You can't just say this business is viable. It's a very viable business, a very good business. It is a kind of business that if a wretched person starts, I'm telling you, it will surely make it. It will succeed because of the yield, the profit margin. But you need to acquire the skill. And to acquire the skill is not easy. You know, you look at yourself, I'm a graduate, I'm this, I'm that. I have social qualification. You need to forget about all those things. Acquire the skill, understand the rudiments of the business. So if you understand it can take more than 3 to 6 months. And after that, capital. It is very easy. You need like 500 to 1 million naira. Yeah, because the equipment will cost you 500,000 naira. And you need to put up what? A structure. And the structure, let me say a wooden structure, maybe 200 to 300,000. Then you need working capital. Then the moment you start, other things will come in place. You need scale, measuring scale, maybe 12,000 naira, spreading sheet for drying. You just start like that. But for you not to be discouraged, I mentioned 3 things when I started. If you want to do this business, you can go into production, you can go into marketing or services. If you cannot go into production, acquiring the equipment, processing kernel nuts, then you can go into buying. You buy the product and you sell. PKO, PKC, palm kernel and palm kernel, you buy and you sell to the end users. I said that the other time. So that will now allow you to raise money. So now, you know, that was how I started. You are a graduate. Acquire skill in this area of business. Then you let people know you can train them on how to do this business. People will come to you. I do the same thing. When you get to my factory, weekends, you see people from Federal University, Akure, they are there acquiring skill. At times, someone will call you, I want to know how to do this business, but I don't have time to come to your factory. Can you please come to me so that we'll talk? Then I will explain, I'll put them through. The practical days, I will let them know. They pay me. So you can also go into, services. Then apart from training, there are people looking for where to get palm kernel cake in large quantity. They are maybe animal feed millers, but they don't leave their factories. They are just waiting for people to bring it, or you link them. So you can go to a particular factory. Sir, I want to bring a customer. How much are you going to sell this palm kernel cake for me? I will sell at 15,000. But I'm bringing a customer. They will pay for 10 tons. They will pay 200,000. That is 20,000 per ton. Sir, 5,000 per ton now, times 10, that is 50,000. How much are you giving me? Do you understand? You have made yourself what? A marketer.
Are you a creative person? Are you looking for the right partner to help you transform your talent into your business? We can help with that. First Bank SME Connect. Visit sme.firstbanknigeria.com to find out more. First Bank.
I'd like you to please dwell more on exports.
On exports?
Export of palm kernel.
Of palm kernel?
Yeah, because I read an agricultural journal that was saying in some Schengen countries that we have some restrictions, but they were not very clear.
On what?
Restrictions of exporting palm kernels to some Schengen countries.
Please, I want to know, what are the potential risks involved in this business? Because I have an uncle who actually went into this business some years back after retiring from Agribusiness Oil. Within 2 to 3 years, he packed up the business. Because sometimes you buy this nut, and after extraction, the oil you are getting is nothing to write home about. So I want to actually know where it went wrong.
Thank you. So let me start with the first person. Your question. For now in Nigeria, if you ask very well, presently, from Nigeria, we are not allowed to export our kernel unless processed. Kernel not, unless you process it. So the only thing you can export from Nigeria now is the kernel shell. You understand me? It's the kernel shell. But the main kernel nut, you cannot export. You can export the vegetable oil from kernel. You can export the PKC from kernel cake. They are all in demand. People demand for it in large quantity. So, but the kernel nut, you cannot export it. Then the next one, like I said, if you want to go into this business, you need to acquire the necessary skill. You need to understand the rudiments. Do you understand me? So you said your uncle didn't get enough oil. It means he bought bad kernel. You need to understand how to tell the quality of kernel you buy. If I should start analyzing here, we will not leave this place. The training, yes. The training is one thing that is very important. As you are there, you can acquire this training, and one big uncle will just call you one day, do you understand this thing? I want to. Your money has come. You will just make, before you know it, you become the CEO of that company. I'm telling you, maybe you go to acquire for like 3-6 months, you now become what? A big thing in your hand. What's hard for you is this. Personally, discover what you want to do in life. What you have a destiny to fulfill. Discover why you are here. Many people were just moving around. You eat, you dress up, you come back home, you sleep. Whining what? Wasting time. Discover why you are here. What am I going to do to fulfill my destiny? After leaving this place, now start thinking. Even if you're a civil servant, think on what you like to do. That can you now turn those things into what? Money making ideas. Just work on yourself. Your ideas will take you places. Thank you.
Do you want to grow your business by selling to people in different ways? We can help with that. First Bank SME Connect. Visit sme.firstbanknigeria.com to find out more. First Bank.
Are you a Nigerian? Do you have a business idea but lack the initial capital? AGDC, in partnership with Lagos State Government, the Chair Center Group, founded by Mrs. Ibukun Awoshika, presents through an online contest, Ignite Ideas Contest, to give seed capital of 100,000 Naira each to 1,100 people and 1-year business mentorship. There is more. You also get access to credit facility from one of the biggest banks in the country. All you have to do is log on to www.igniteideas.org to register and fill the application form. You should also follow them on their social media pages. Facebook, www.facebook.com/igniteideascontest. Twitter, @ignitecontest. Hurry and give your business ideas some life.
We're talking because there's no business without risk.
Yes.
Every business has its own risk. So
there can't be profit there if there's no risk.
So we were talking and we talked about poultry. I said it's not a viable business because of tons of risk and there's no insurance. That, okay, you lose 100 bed now and you're very sure, okay.
So there's no insurance in the insurance sector
nothing.
To cover
I've not seen any. I've not seen any. He was talking about he got to his farm one day and who knows what happened and.
Well, 2 weeks to Christmas.
So
how many weeks to Christmas?
2 weeks.
Christmas,
I just found about 100 birds were sick overnight.
Overnight,
I had to contact my vet and luckily for me there was no mortality.
Okay, so you saved them all.
At least there was no mortality because we're talking about incubation, like getting them eat, so that during the rainy season and all that, and we prefer the indigenous type, the traditional type, and where you burnt up your poultry because you use sawdust and half of it, and there's no insurance to help you out. So,
well, at least that guy has gained the experience in a poultry. So
but that's the cheaper rate for you to start and to maintain yourself. And we were talking, I was talking with him, he said, it gets to some point you're expecting a baby, you have to take care of your wife, and now there's tons of risks in the farm already, and there's nothing to fall back to say, okay, at least I have insurance to help me out if there's a little bit of mistake. So
that brings me to what he's saying is tying up to the question I wanted to ask. When you fail, which you will, because
which you will sometimes. I think we talked about failure as well during the program because inevitably, I don't think there's any great business person that you know has never failed before, whether in life or in business. Because what we call failure in itself, it's a learning process. And I don't consider anything as failing, I consider it as experience. Because the lessons you learn through a situation where you're termed to have failed, you probably can't learn any other way. And the lessons you learn from a situation that is termed as failing, you probably can't learn any other way. And that lesson would put you a number of steps ahead of competition because you now know something they don't know, which will translate to value for you ultimately. Now, so you fail now, but the one thing you never do. If you remember, we talked about an entrepreneur needing to be someone that can persevere, someone who has high tenacity. You have to stay with it. And it's also why you mustn't do a business you're not passionate about, that you don't have sustaining interest in. Because at the first sight of trouble, you say, this is not what I bargained for, I don't want this one. And you run off. And the reason why global statistics keep saying that 8 out of 10 new businesses die every 2-3 years is usually because the people who go into those businesses give up on the business. Because if you love something, and even if you get it wrong the first time, you will work at finding how to get it right, which is how innovation comes up. Usually, people innovate in trying to find unusual solution to a common problem. And that's why we call it innovation, because it's something different that solves a problem that everybody else can see or they're trying to solve. Do you understand what I'm saying? So in business, I don't see that you will not fail at one part of it or the other, or even fail at the total business. But sometimes our failures can always lead to innovation in business, and you would find that that makes failure in itself an asset to the individual, and it can also benefit the industry, because you're not likely to make the same mistake twice. Yes. But there are things you will learn from your mistake that will make you a better person in that area. And if you're in the business that you're passionate about and committed to, because it's about having the staying power. Every business would have a problem day. There is no business that will not have a day where it looks like, what am I doing here? Mm-hmm. You know, that I can't do this anymore. But then, if you wake up the next morning and you're doing something you love, you must find something within you that will say, no, I'm not going to give up on this. I can do this. Now, let's not mix that up with when you have taken a bad business decision. Because sometimes you have taken a bad business decision and it is failing. And when you see that it's failing, you must have the courage to tell yourself the truth and say, this isn't working and I need to discontinue this, rather than burning all your investment or your resources in something that is never going to work. That's one thing. There's also the other part of staying with something that is not sustainable. You know, part of what we said during Ignite is the fact that you must be flexible and responsive to change, which means maybe you're doing it a certain way, you're feeding your birds one way, you've been setting up the investor and the farmer relationship in a certain way, but market trends have changed and things are emerging in a different way. So sometimes you might be doing something that is failing. You need to have the courage to make the change or to shut it down. So failure is in different ways where business is concerned. So failure is part of business, but it's not the worst thing in business. It actually has a lot of value.
Send in your comments, questions, and shoutouts to our Facebook page, facebook.com/IgniteTV, Twitter/IgniteTVNG, and check out our website, www.ignite-tv.com. For extras on Ignite, visit our YouTube account on www.youtube.com/IgniteTV Nigeria for lots more about the show and lots of useful information on building your business.